News at 11.
Eight miles.
Wow.
8 miles, 100.
Yes, second. Yes, hello. Master Control. Come in, Master Control. We're the commander here.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Mic check. Hang on. It was in a knot. It was a knot. 1, 2, 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Glover.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. We're hearing of a new scam that is targeting Uber customers.
We talked to a local woman who says she was scammed into a hefty cleanup fee after her Uber driver sent what she said were fake vomit pictures to the company. Channel 2's Tanisha Cordell went digging for answers and has more in this 3 on Your Side report.
It's not the first time Madison Akins has used Uber, but she says it is the first time her fare has ever totaled $163 for an 8-mile drive.
8 miles.
Wow.
8 miles, $160 later. I wish I'd canceled the Uber.
Madison Akins says she and her cousin were leaving a game at Finley Stadium when she requested an Uber. She says her Uber app showed it would be a cheap ride, but that wasn't the case.
The next day I checked my banking and I'm down like $160 from an Uber ride that was supposed to cost like $5 to $13.
Akins says she was charged $150 for a cleaning fee. Confused as to why, she says she requested a refund, but Uber replied saying the driver sent them these pictures of vomit inside his car after Akins' ride.
In this photo, there's some kind of mess all over the dash, the center console, and the driver's seat. I'm like, that never happened. I've actually ridden with this driver before a year ago. I remembered him because he had crazy lights in his car, and it's a lot of fun, you know, but I'm very disappointed.
Akins says she sent several more emails to the company telling them she did not leave a mess.
It was a very impersonal, standardized response that I feel is automated, and just to tell me that's too bad, you signed our accepted our terms of use when you signed up for this.
Uber's website says customers are charged $80 for vomit or other spills inside a vehicle. If there's a large spill, the price increases to $150. But a driver has to submit clear photos of the mess.
It's the easiest scam ever. You make a mess, you take a picture, you send it in, and you get $150 to $230, I believe, with no questions asked.
We're told Uber does have measures to catch false or fraudulent claims, but when asked what those measures include, a spokesperson told us they could not release that information. However, they did say a 24/7 support team is supposed to investigate both sides. The good news is Akins tells us Uber did send her confirmation she will get her money back, but that happened after we contacted the company. Live in the studio, Tanisha Cordell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Tanisha. A Polk County woman is charged with severely beating her 1-year-old child. The Polk County Sheriff's Office arrested 25-year-old Jessica Lee Mendez today. Sheriff Steve Ross says he was contacted by the Department of Children's Services to investigate injuries to the 1-year-old. That 1-year-old was taken to a local hospital. Sheriff Ross said the child suffered from multiple fractures to the head, ribs, hand, and legs. The child also had multiple bruises. Mendez is charged with aggravated child abuse and neglect.
About 100 Marines are helping clean up debris from that deadly military plane crash in Mississippi. The site is secured. The work is far from over. This is aerial footage showing teams trekking through the heat deep into the fields. Public Safety Commissioner Marshall Fisher noted that the job is a risky one because the items to be recovered may be unsafe. The military says it could be a few days before the official roster of names aboard that plane. 16 people is released.
2 days after Varnell, Georgia City Council members voted to eliminate their police force, officers are now back on the streets, patrolling the area. Mayor Anthony Halsey vetoed their decision this afternoon and reinstated the 9-officer police department. City Council members will meet later this month and could override the mayor's veto. Business owner Vishal Patel says he worries he could be without a police department again.
I hope that it works out where we can keep our police department, continue going. I definitely don't want them to go away.
If the city council members decide to go against the mayor, we're told he would not be able to override or veto their override. From there, it could be taken up in court, or new city council members put in by the voters could reinstate the department. They meet again July 25th.
Emergency officials responded to a fire at a Northwest Georgia power plant this afternoon. They worked quickly to put the blaze out at the plant near Cartersville, Georgia. Georgia Power, which owns the plant, said the fire began in the facility's switch yard. No flames were reported inside the plant itself. No one was injured. Plant Bowen is what the facility is called. It's said to be the nation's 9th largest power plant in terms of generating electricity, and it's been in operation since 1975.
The boil water advisory and water restrictions have all been lifted in Walker County. Earlier this month, the Walker County water treatment plant found E. coli in a well water sample, and nearly 6,000 homes and businesses were then put under that boil advisory. Since that time, 2 mobile water treatment plants have been installed to boost the supply of clean water flowing through the community.
A note for residents of Tryon: when you wake up tomorrow, beginning at 9 a.m., the water will be off for residents who live south of the river and west of Park Avenue. The mayor tells Channel 3 an old school building's being remodeled and a leak was found in that building. Workers will have to shut the water off to fix the leak, but the mayor says the water should only be off in Tryon there for about an hour.
Hey, it's time to check in with Paul Barris. Another I guess summer-like day, but it really wasn't all that bad this evening.
Paul, we got rained on, looked up at blue sky. It must have blown in from somewhere.
Well, the drier air moved in temporarily, but it's coming back tomorrow. Actually, humidity's still high, but you notice the skies were really blue when there weren't the clouds out there. And that's because the upper atmosphere wasn't as wet as it is down near the surface. Some of the rainfall reports, enormous amounts just west of Spring City, up to 2.5 inches of rain, and just west of Pikeville and some of the ridges, up to 3 inches of rain fell, with anywhere from Dayton Mountain up to Spring City, 1 to 2 inches. Then we had a good cluster of showers and storms from the northern part of the northwestern part of Catoosa County and not too far from Fort Oglethorpe, up to 1 inch of rain all the way down into northeast Alabama. I want to show you right now the high-res radar and all the showers and storms again. Well to the south of us have really failing out there, but big thunderstorms still to the north, and some of that stuff over the next couple of days could gradually be pushing our way. Latest forecast is showing not much in the morning, coming up into the afternoon, some widely scattered showers and storms again. Overnight, wouldn't be impossible. Tomorrow night, you may see a shower or storm. By Saturday morning, looks dry to begin with, but into the afternoon, another cluster of showers and storms will be starting to pop up into the evening hours too. And then coming up into Sunday morning, looks like it'll be dry, and a small chance for some isolated showers coming up on Sunday. So we're thinking for the next 60 hours or so, we're probably going to see maybe 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain on average. But every now and then, one of those storms, especially out over the plateau, could drop maybe 1 inch or 2. I'll have more coming up on my 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
Paul, thanks very much. We'll check back in with you.
After the break here at 11, police have found the bodies of 4 young men who had been missing in Pennsylvania. We'll have details.
Plus, you may remember riding in one of these as a kid. Today, we say happy birthday to the most iconic red wagon.
Police say they have solved the case of 4 missing young men in Pennsylvania.
20-year-old Cosmo DiNardo, the man police have identified as a person of interest, has confessed, they say, to killing all 4 men and told authorities where the bodies were located. The men were all missing since last week. Police say they discovered the common grave more than 12 feet deep on a farm that belonged to DiNardo's parents. Only one body has been identified among the remains. It's that of 19-year-old Dean Fiocchiario. DiNardo was arrested Wednesday for trying to sell a car that belonged to one of the missing men.
That full confession was so much that he admitted to his participation or the commission of the 4 murders.
In exchange for the confession, his lawyer there says the state will not seek the death penalty.
A slimy scene oozing along an Oregon highway left some drivers dribbled in disgust. It's not a pretty picture. Police say a truck carrying about 7,500 pounds of live eels overturned today. They say the truck driver failed to stop when advised by a highway worker, and then when he slammed on the brakes, the containers flew off the truck. The cars and roadway were covered with the slimy creatures and the gooey stuff they secrete when stressed. No one was injured in the crash.
They were certainly stressed by that.
They were stressed. Everybody else too, right? Well, the Radio Flyer, an iconic red wagon, is celebrating 100 years today.
And to mark the occasion, a larger-than-life Radio Flyer wagon was rolled into downtown Chicago. Children and adults posed for photos in front of this, what's being called the world's largest wagon. Some took a spin in a classic red wagon, and it continues to be a childhood favorite. Of course, the Radio Flyer was created in a workshop on Chicago's west side by an Italian immigrant in 1917. Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel was on hand for the festivities. He credited the city for opening its arms to immigrants to pursue their dreams. Coming up on Eyewitness News at 11, President Trump is defending his son over the controversial Russian meeting.
The president is in Paris, but the questions about his son's admission have followed him. We have the full report next.
With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
President Trump defended his eldest son today during a visit with the French president in Paris.
Mr. Trump commented on Donald Jr.'s meeting last year with a Russian lawyer after Trump Jr. was offered damaging information about Hillary Clinton. NBC's Kristen Welker reports from Paris.
President Trump dining at the Eiffel Tower in Paris tonight, but unable to shake the Russia crisis consuming his White House.
My son is a wonderful young man.
Steadfastly defending his son, Donald Trump Jr., after those revelations he met with a Russian lawyer.
He took a meeting with a Russian lawyer, not a government lawyer, but a Russian lawyer. Zero happened from the meeting. And honestly, I think the press made a very big deal over something that really a lot of people would do.
It is highly unusual for U.S. campaign officials to meet with people claiming to represent foreign governments offering opposition research. It comes as the Senate Intelligence Committee has called on Trump Jr. to testify. President Trump telling reporters aboard Air Force One he should if he wants to, and saying it was a short meeting and he only heard about it 2 or 3 days ago.
I've had many people call up, oh, gee, we have information on this factor or this person or, frankly, Hillary. That's very standard in politics. Politics is not the nicest business in the world.
And the president attempting to reset relations with France after he and President Macron have clashed and had that tense, white-knuckled first handshake at the NATO summit. But today, open hands. President Trump even suggesting a willingness to discuss the Paris Climate Agreement after infuriating Macron by pulling out.
Something could happen with respect to the Paris Accord. We'll see what happens.
And during a more candid moment going off script, speaking to the First Lady of France.
The president also touted warmer relations with Russia aboard Air Force One, telling reporters he pressed President Putin twice on election meddling and then let it go because, quote, what do? End up in a fist fight with somebody? The president also saying he'll invite President Putin to the White House when the time is right. Traveling with the president in Paris, Kristen Welker, NBC News.
Now back here at home, a local businessman's giving his time and money trying to help some Hamilton County schools and the students and the facilities. Daryl Wick is a gym owner, personal trainer, and minister in Chattanooga. A few months ago, we told you about him donating money to redo the football field at Howard School. Several community members saw what he was doing and they pitched in to fix the press box and the concession stand there. Now he's helping students at Brainerd High School.
They didn't have any dumbbells in their weight room and rubber bands and medicine balls, and we immediately got that, and then we bought him 65 new uniforms.
And what do they say? And there's more. Wyke bought that zero-turn lawnmower so the school could take care of the football field. He painted a rusted goal post for the football team at Orchard Knob. Wyke says he wants to make a difference in the lives of local kids.
He is doing so. Hamilton County's new superintendent released a statement in regards to the upcoming school year. He said, in part, in August, as we open the schools, every employee in the district will focus on providing each student a world-class education. Dr. Johnson said he is glad to call Chattanooga and Hamilton County home, and he's humbled and excited to begin the new year.
There's a washout in Wisconsin after an overnight storm left people there with major concerns over flooding.
The city of Burlington was one of the hardest hit areas, receiving about 7 inches of rain. Many of the roads are still flooded with strong currents. City officials urged residents to leave their homes before it gets worse. The National Weather Service shows the Fox River crested at just over 16 feet. This sent water rushing into homes and flooded the downtown Riverwalk. So far, no injuries have been reported.
Floodwaters also continue to rise in parts of Illinois. State of emergency has been declared in some areas. You see that sinkhole there. It opened up on the highway after floodwaters washed out a large culvert. The water was 5 feet deep in some areas in Illinois. Well, they could use some of that moisture out on the west coast, but it's not happening, huh?
Well, you know, they broke their drought this winter out in the West Coast, so that's really good news for them. It's not good news for Gurnee, which is north and west of Chicago. That's a big resort town. High humidity for tomorrow with some scattered showers and thunderstorms building up once again. Some of those storms could be strong, possibly severe, but if that happens, probably most of them are going to be north of us. We're not seeing a lot south of the city. There was one little shower out in your Polk County. The big thunderstorms, again, right across the Ohio River Valley from just about Columbus, Ohio, all the way down to just north of Paducah in southern Illinois. They're getting hit really hard with big thunderstorms. And south of Terre Haute, Indiana, too, and south of Indianapolis. For Indianapolis, over the past few days, it's seen 5 to 7 inches of rain. So they've had some tremendous amounts of rain across the Midwest. Right now we're a muggy 78, 75 in Dayton and Athens, 79 in Cleveland, and 79 in Dalton right now, with Murphy at 73. Again, winds are calm. 91, 74 the high and the low. Real close to our forecast of 91 to 73. And just about 1/1500ths of an inch of rain fell at the airport. We had 93 in Tryon and Calhoun, 94 in Chatsworth, 92 in Varnell. Dalton got up to 90. Scottsboro was 91 degrees today. Cleveland hit 90, and so did Mowbray Mountain with Soddy Daisy at 92. Now Eastridge had about a ½ inch of rain, Ooltewah about a 1/10, and Ringgold hit 88, while Lookout Mountain was 84, and Trenton had a couple 1/10ths of an inch of rain, while Dayton and Dunlap only had about a 1/10 of an inch of rain, with 94 from Delano all the way to Athens, 93 up near 10 Mile, 94 in Riceville. Murphy hit 90 with 87 Turtletown, Jasper 92, Colmont, Cagle Mountain at about 86. This is Vipercast. Looking off to the north tomorrow morning, there may be a few showers out there. And then this cold front gets a little bit closer, so we'll see those scattered showers and storms popping up into the afternoon, but they're going to be hit and miss once again, not going to be everywhere. 7 o'clock Saturday morning, not much rain, but into the afternoon we'll see a cluster of showers and storms building up as a cold front slips on by. Now into Sunday morning, Vipercast saying all the rain's gone. I still think there'll be a chance, at least south of the city, coming up on Sunday. And then coming up into Monday, it looks like a drier day with, it's still going to be hot though, with the winds coming up out of the north. Now we're thinking probably on average about 3/4 to 2/3 of an inch of rain on average, again, across the area over the next 4 days. But every now and then, one of those storms is going to be strong and could drop a couple inches. Tonight, 73 with the showers ending, and the best chance is going to be up into the Blue Ridge Mountains. Tomorrow, 91 with some scattered showers and thunderstorms building up once again. 74 tomorrow night, the showers and storms ending. And the 7-day forecast, an excellent chance for rain on Saturday. Best chance on Sunday should be south of the city. And it looks like we'll be drying off into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Highs still very warm in the low 90s, but you know, that happens this time of year. So I just got to get used to that.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
That's what it is. Up next, in sports, the Dalton Catamounts are taking their football to ESPN2. We have details ahead.
Plus, we wrap up the SEC Media Days, and Mock's football coach Tom Arth shows off his arm at the Lookouts game. Stay with us.
Hello. Mic check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the second time in 6 years, a local prep football team will play on national television. In 2011, it was the Cleveland and Bradley showdown. This fall, it's Dalton's turn as the Catamounts have a date booked with ESPN2. Dalton head coach Matt Land confirmed today the Cats will travel to region rival Harrison in Kennesaw on Thursday, October 19th, and play on ESPN2. Harrison, of course, is led by the nation's top overall recruit, quarterback Justin Fields. There he is right there. Fields recently jumped Cartersville quarterback Trevor Lawrence for the top spot. As for facing Fields, Dalton beat Harrison last year, 31-14, but Land raves about Fields, calling him Cam Newton-esque. In Hoover, SEC media days are done and gone. Day 4 in short, Auburn needs stability at quarterback, South Carolina needs a defense, and Ole Miss needs a bigger shovel to get out of its off-the-field mess. In addition to the ongoing NCAA investigation, we learned this week former Ole Miss head coach Houston Nutt is suing Ole Miss, the AD, and head coach Hugh Freeze. Perfect timing as Hugh Freeze took the podium today. He tried to freeze out the media. Here's a bar graph proving it. Freeze's opening comments were pre-written, lasted more than 10 minutes, and contained more than 2,700 words. The longest, by the way, of any head coach this week. Again, the bar graph proves that. Ed Orgeron was in a close second. 3 times, though, longer than Butch Jones, 10 times longer than Jim McElwain's opening comments. The gist of what Hugh Freeze said, I know what you want to ask, but no comment. In the SEC, they like to say, quote, it just means more. In the ACC, Jimbo Fisher says, to who? Today at the ACC Media Days, called the ACC Kickoff, Florida State's Jimbo Fisher made it clear he believes the ACC is the world's premier conference.
Your comment that you believe that the ACC is the premier conference in college football, I was wondering if you'd expand on that.
Well, I would say 2 of the last 4 national champions have came from here. We played for 3 of them. I coached in the SEC for 13. I think it's a tremendous conference. I think the Big Ten's a tremendous. I think they all are. But I think right now, with what we've accomplished in the last 5 years, you're talking about major wins, big wins, national championships, Heisman Trophy winners, coaches, everything that goes involved. I think the ACC is as good a league as there is in football.
Fighting words or not, we are ready for September 2nd. The SEC and the ACC will collide with Alabama and Florida State in Atlanta. Some of the numbers now, the important ones at least. The ACC has won 2 of the last 3 national championships. Alabama has won 2 of the last 5. No one else from the SEC, though, has made the college football playoff to this point. So while we wait for the ACC and the SEC to collide again, there was a sports collision of sorts downtown tonight. UTC and the Chattanooga Lookouts. It was Chattanooga Mocs Day at AT&T Field tonight, which meant Tom Arth was tossing out the first pitch. Arth on the mound. Pause it. All right, zoom in. Look at his face. Arth ain't playing. If I'm the catcher, I'm worried. That's an NFL arm, and he's about to unleash one. All right, roll it. Unleash one he did, painting the outside corner, popping the mid as well. Possibly the best first pitch of the year. The Lookouts carried Arth's momentum into the first. Jonathan Rodriguez with a shot to left. It bounces to the wall. Levi Michael scores from second, 1-0. A few pitches later, Rodriguez is on the move himself. An RBI single up the middle. That was Max Murphy picking up the ribby. 2-0 at that point, and they're not done in the first. TJ White keeping the line moving. To the gap in left center. White picks up an RBI double. Chattanooga takes game 1 from the Jumbo Fish, 5-4. Jumbo Shrimp, rather. I screw that up every time. Chattanooga checking in now, though, with Tim Tebow. He did it again. Tebow mashing a walk-off homer tonight. Here's your proof. Tebow has been killing it since his promotion to the St. Lucie Mets, New York's advanced A-ball team, that is. Since the promotion, Tebow is batting .327, and he's riding an 11-game hit streak. Tim Tebow doing Tim Tebow things.
That's great, and he always draws a crowd.
He sure does, which, do they promote him again? Next stop, by the way, would be Double-A baseball for the New York Mets, which
so
is the
not
equivalent.
In a region that would come to Chattanooga. Then.
Not yet, not yet.
Fun stuff. Paul Bears has your 7 day, we got that.
Hello, 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 hello. I think tomorrow's going to be pretty much like we saw it today. Temperatures pretty mild into the morning in the low to mid 70s, and temperatures into the low 90s for highs, and scattered showers and a few thunderstorms building up during the heating of the day. A real good chance on Saturday, mainly in North Georgia on Sunday, and then drying off from Monday through next Thursday with the heat and humidity pretty fierce.
Fierce, that's a descriptive word. Message received. Well, not one, not two, not three, but 11 puppies were rescued from a potentially harmful situation in Detroit.
The Michigan Humane Society posted the video of the rescue. The mother had left her pups in a hole during severe weather. It took about 30 minutes to get them out to safety. The fear was they would drown from heavy rain in the forecast. Now, after the ordeal, you see there all the puppies. Oh, how cute is that?
I know, right?
After about 8 or 9, don't you just keep reaching around down there? Did we forget number 12? Where did the 12 go?
Next.
Did the mom say, hey, I've got 11, keep going?
Right.
Yes. Oh, that's
Timmy's
great
in the
to
well.
look at. They were all
Good day
reunited.
at work.
Thanks for joining us.
Join us online, WRCBTV.com, anytime. We'll see you tomorrow.
Believe it or not.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the second time in 6 years, a local prep football team will play on national television. In 2011, it was the Cleveland and Bradley Central showdown. This fall, it's Dalton's turn, as the Catamounts have a date booked with ESPN2. Dalton head coach Matt Land confirmed yesterday the Cats will travel to region rival Harrison in Kennesaw Thursday, October 19th, and play on ESPN2. Harrison is, of course, led by the nation's top overall recruit, quarterback Justin Fields. Fields recently jumped Cartersville quarterback Trevor Lawrence for that top spot. As for facing Fields, Dalton beat Harrison last year, but Bland raves about Fields, calling him Cam Newton-esque. And while we wait for the ACC and an SEC to collide, there was a sports collision of... That does not make sense. That's my fault.